Alright, so Legendary Family, Goji Center had just dropped their final 8 contestants for the Great Hybrid War. And again, I can actually say I am impressed with the video. So today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're actually going to be reviewing the entire thing. Yeah, from start to finish, all of these rounds and everything, you know, making sure they were treated fairly and just answering some questions. Now, if you guys want my full opinion on it, and if you're going to ask me if I would add a random creature or another creature from a different line of fiction to the hybrid war or see if they can survive it, please let me know what creature you are thinking of in the comment section down below. So with that being said here, yeah, let's actually begin. So the simple rules for the hybrid war were pretty simple here. All of these contestants from start to finish, and well, it was actually a pretty good analysis overall. I actually do think they treated them fairly, albeit I think I was kind of surprised most of the sauropods won, because I actually thought they were going to do the whole, well, the Indominus was designed to take down full angry sauropods, or, you know, bull angry sauropods and stuff. And again, they actually stuck to their own rules. So the thing is, it was just a straight up encounter, which, believe it or not, actually did surprise me. No setup, no ambush, no tools, and no advantages, meaning that the Indom 2.0 just has to straight up fight these guys. Albeit, I do think it would have been interesting for some of them to actually have, you know, a whole different scenarios from each other. But again, I guess you can say that that can be a little too much work for them and stuff like that. So they also judge things like duration in combat, post-combat health as well, which is actually a good thing. Albeit, even if you do die after your opponent, that would still count as a win at the end of it. But then we also have the battle intelligence of certain creatures, which I guess you could say is important as well. But again, dinosaurs have never been like fully dumb anyway. Some are just less intelligent than the other. But again, I think they also said that it wasn't too much of a contributing factor, so it is what it is. But then we also have the win frequency, which one is going to win a lot more and come out unscathed a lot more. So without further ado, let's start with our first round here. Therapod Rex versus Valkyrie. Basically, these guys will all be going against the Indominus Rex in one-on-one scenarios, which I do like. It's not versus each other. It's just basically which creature would have the best chance at being the Indominus 2.0. Very good. Now, Predator Rex versus the Indom 2.0, it was kind of obvious it was going to win, in my opinion. You see, when it comes to Zarkids, they aren't the best when it comes to a close-up fight. However, they did say Valkyrie did have a way to win by actually dive bombing it and being able to really, you know, just start chipping at the Indominus Rex, especially in like wide open areas. However, the Indom 2.0 just needs to grab it once and get the hit that counts, which is one of the few reasons why I did like the video in general. They also made sure, like, yeah, they can take all these hits, but what if the Indom 2.0 gets the hit that counts? And again, for an Zarkid, that can be a very detrimental, you know, thing. So Predator Rex winning because it had better armor, it was better adapted and better equipped to take down the Indominus 2.0, but just slightly. So yeah, Predator Rex win. Next up, we have Gigantothereum versus Pharaoh Pelta. Now, this one was interesting because I actually was hoping for Goji Center to actually, I guess you could say, make this a bit more fun. This is the one time I definitely think they could have went against their own rules and actually had a more creative scenario. Having Gigantothereum and the Indom 2.0 maybe fight in the main street area. Think about it. There's plenty of tools. There's plenty of uses for the environment. Gigantothereum could likely use its more, I guess you could say, more ape-like attributes to jump around on buildings compared to the Indom 2.0. And it also had its advantages. Definitely had a longer reach, and it definitely had, a better turn radius than the Pharaoh Pelta, which, again, pretty important when it comes to combat. However, the Pharaoh Pelta just had way better stats, in all honesty. It had better armor, it was much lower to the ground, and in all honesty, reach can also be used against a creature, which was actually something pretty intelligent to say about these hybrids. However, I do think it would be interesting if they kind of just got into like a literal tool-on-tool battle. But again, I do think in a random encounter, or at least a one-on-one scenario, yes, Pharaoh Pelta definitely has the advantage when it comes to it. Its armor is literally reflective of the Ankylosaurus, a much better Ankylosaurus, mind you, and a couple other Ankylosaurs and the Ceratopsians as well, which have a very devastating bite. We're going to be coming back to that later because, again, Ceratopsians just had these menacing and mean bites. But yes, Pharaoh Pelta was the one who came out at the end of the day. Love it. Definitely did it fairly. Next off, we have Therapod Rex versus the Armored Titan. Now, this one actually did surprise me a little. You see, I actually thought Therapod Rex was just going to take that, in all honesty. I mean, it's bigger, it's definitely stronger, and it can get in the damaging bites and stuff like that. Even if you want to say the Indom 2.0 is faster and agile, Therapod Rex has enough to not just, keep up with it in general. And then, bam, get the shot that counts. And again, I do love these artwork where the Indom 2.0 seems to have done a lot more damage. But again, the Therapod Rex simply just, is able to get a hold of it one time and get that decisive chomp right on the face. Also, Indominus seems to be getting face abused a lot in this one, dear God. And then the Armored Titan. Better armor, better dexterity, just overall better defense. And again, sauropods for the win. Woo! Now, Armored Titan won because it just had better armor, and, well, I wouldn't want to get hit with that in all honesty. Now, the next one is Kuroseratops versus Mundasaurus. Again, another one that surprised me because I actually did think Mundasaurus had it. It had, the same defenses as the, I think it was like Artosaurus or Titan. But again, we will get into that one a bit later. Now, this one, in all honesty, I enjoyed it. I did. I think this one was actually pretty good. With Kuroseratops, I think it was kind of obvious it was going to win. It's the perfect combination between the Ankylosaur lineage and the Ceratopsian lineage. And then there's Mundasaurus. Now, I didn't understand it too much how Mundasaurus lost. It definitely had the perfect equipment of Kentrosaurus and I believe Shunosaurus, if I remember correctly, plus with a couple other sauropods. But again, they did make the, I guess you could say, statement that the Indom 2.0 could get on its back, which I'm not sure why that would even be an option, considering the fact that it does have the Kentrosaurian spikes on its back as well. Plus, attacking from the side, wouldn't Mundasaurus just, kind of like, I guess you say, shift its weight and just body slam or side slam it? But again, Kuroseratops took the W at the end of the day. More armor, better lower to the ground, and, well, I guess you say just better overall double defenses, So, yeah, Kuroseratops won. Not mad about it, but it was definitely confusing. Especially when we get into the Aro Titan and one of my favorites, Artosaurus. Because, dear God, this is the one time I actually went against the sauropods because I love the whole Fasolasuchian or Barinasuchian vibe I kind of got from Artosaurus. And again, I do think Artosaurus definitely had, it's definitely bloody, like just picturing it on my own. I definitely could see where if Artosaurus and Indom 2.0 just, go at each other, it's going to be like, look, we go until somebody drops. It don't matter. It really doesn't. But then you have Aro Titan. It's literally impossible to take down without like some other means or something like that. That thing was armored from head to toe. But again, here's the thing that actually did confuse me, especially when it came to the previous sauropod, Mundasaurus or Mundusaurus, where we talked about. If Mundasaurus, was able to get its back climbed on somehow, I don't see, how that really didn't apply here or apply over there when it applied to Aro Titan. I mean, Aro Titan definitely steamrolls the Indominus 2.0. It's well too heavily armored. And again, I think it's kind of understandable that you can't attack the front of a sauropod either, considering the fact that they literally, one of their main attack methods is them rearing up and bringing their weight down on their opponent. So yeah, Aro Titan definitely won it, but kind of disappointed in some ways because I was actually hoping for Artosaurus to actually take it. But let's talk about this one. Spinal Venator versus Brontarax. Definitely one of the few closer matchups, in my opinion. And in all honesty, I kind of knew Brontarax was going to win. It's very agile because I think of the Iguanodon DNA, or was that the other one? I'm not sure. But again, Brontarax had a much more agile build, or a much more dangerously agile build, while Spinal Venator, and believe it or not, I did not know Spinal Venator existed in the Hybrid War because I really didn't watch the original one. That is because I've been busy with other videos. But again, the fact that Spinal Venator literally has like porcupine-esque quills to where if the Indom 2.0 bites it or maybe even grabs it, it's going to damage itself as well. But then again, Spinal Venator is also in the realm of hurting itself, which I do understand, especially when it comes to like porcupines and other creatures that have those kind of like hairs. And then you also have the fact that Gilgamesh over here, or Brontarax, simply had the perfect combination of herbivore and carnivore traits. So it could definitely ram somebody with their spikes and then proceed to bite them anyway. But this one was actually pretty interesting. Luca Venador versus Armmitus as well. So yeah, Brontarax won that one. But Luca Venador was actually something beautiful, in all honesty. I think this is the one with the Iguanodon build, so let me know down below. But Luca Venador is just an absolutely beautiful creature and all together. But then Armmitus as well. Whew. I had to go with it. I'm sorry. I was rooting for it. I'm a sucker for sauropods. And it was actually pretty interesting to see this because, again, it could just take a lot more, which is actually a pretty perfect way to counter the whole Indominus being a sauropod killer argument. Have the sauropod be able to withstand more and get the hit that it just needs. Just one hit. All it took. But then you also have Luca Venador, which is around the same size as the Indom 2.0, has better, armor and stuff like that. And in all honesty, I think it was really more or less the health and I guess you could say the win percentage or the duration or the win percentage that Armmitus actually got it. But I definitely think that Lucanovator was definitely, I don't know, I feel like it kind of deserved it, but hey, it is what it is. But now, final round here, we have Nemi versus Monstro. And in all honesty, when I really got a good look at Nemi again, I had Garen Bazru vibes from Monster Hunter Frontier. Like, does nobody like see the somewhat resemblance? But in all honesty, I'm actually surprised that Nemi did lose this one. I was actually hoping it would win, even if it was like a bloody and brutal battle here. But again, it's just, I guess it's just one of those fights where it's just like, yeah, the Indom 2.0 and Nemi would just go with each other the same way Artosaurus and the Indom 2.0 did, just going until each other dropped. But again, the Garen Bazuru vibes were absolutely astounding, especially when you like get a closer look at it. It's like a shorter horn Garen Bazuru. It definitely fits in Monster Hunter. I definitely tell y'all that. And then Monstro. Now, Monstro actually got the win here because of its armor, which again, understandable. And it had a lot more, I guess you could say, of a win rate, a better win rate, and against the Indom 2.0, because not only of its armor, but its intelligence and its reach. So it could easily swipe the leg out of the Indominus and then proceed to kind of like pummel it, if you will. So believe it or not, because of these two here, post-battle, post-combat health, and then win frequency, not to say neither one of them could have win, but it's the simple fact that Nemi would have, it just would have been bloody. I think probably bloodier than Artosaurus versus the Indom 2.0 in all honesty. And then you have the fact that the pangolin armor, smart choice by the way, was actually going to be a lot more resistant. And then again, reinforcing it with other creatures. Yeah, that thing was definitely impenetrable altogether. So yeah, Monstro got it. No complaints here. But again, kind of shocked that Nemi did lose that one. So with that being said here, all the contestants are set for the final round against each other. And then I guess the one who has the best chance against the Indom 2.0. It is actually going to be funny if I see Armmitus and then Aro Titan just going against each other at the end. But again, it is understandable. Overall, Goji Center did a good job with this video, treated every contestant fairly, and definitely ran down the reasons why some would win, or basically how all of them would win, but just how the results would have definitely varied and who would have just had the best conditions to live afterwards. So that's going to be all today, you guys. Be sure to comment down below, like, subscribe, and share it to friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I do hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace.